Okay, you guys, what is up? This is OG Senpai here today to review Magi The Labyrinth of Magic, episode, no, not episode, chapter 224. Now, this is chapter of Magi. At some point, Ohtaka has to wrap up this arc. I'm not lying to you. This chapter was important, mainly due to a romance story. But other than that, it didn't progress it too much. And the whole point of this arc was to figure out what happened to Almataran, why it happened, and what Gyoukuen has to do with this. So, while I understand that Sheba and Solomon have to connect at some point, and I understand, I think that's good. They need to speed this up a little bit more because I want to get to the summit. I want to get to what's going to happen at the summit. What we find out Almataran is great. That's important to to the story. But when it comes to the whole Sheba love Solomon situation, I'm not digging. At least not as much as I'm digging, what's going on at the summit. Because a lot of big dudes are there, a lot of big names. But anyways, basics, pacing, artwork, and story progression. Again, pacing slow. Towards the story, pretty slow. Artwork, okay plus. It wasn't that bad artwork. Like it actually was nice. Kind of like when it came to Sheba and she hit her staff on the ground. Artwork, it was okay plus, and of course story progression. That's going to be a good, yeah, good. So okay plus, good, okay plus. So yeah, basics okay plus. When it comes to the chapter itself, let's get in. All right, so obviously this ties back in the last chapter where about the whole pillars thing, where Arbor and Sheba have to help Solomon when he is in when he needs it, and this basically goes off the fact that Sheba's trying to go out with Solomon and get him to love her now, so that he can should continue our promise. And Solomon's not taking her seriously, bro. I'm like, God damn, she's getting friend zoned like a mofo. And she's like, oh Solomon, will you go out with me? Will you go out with me? And then Solomon's like, the fuck, nigga, like, why are you even asking me that? So I thought that was pretty funny, but we get into the chapter itself, and it's basically a conflict between Sheba and some of the other subjects of Solomon. Well, not subjects, like more like comrades in the resistance. And I think I find something interesting. According to Arba, Sheba is second in what as second best. Well, not, is second in power when it comes to Arba and Solomon. Solomon, we already know, is extremely powerful. And Arba, we know that Solomon, she's the reason why Solomon is so good at swordsmanship. But Sheba has progressed to the point where she is on par, or at least extremely close, to Solomon and Arba in power. And I'm like, dude, that's impressive. Because, Solomon, he's the god of the Magi verse. He's the reason as to why the world where Alibaba and Aladdin reside in are there today. So that's not really bad. That's really not that bad. But basically, we see Sheba, and she gets into it with this with the members of the resistance who are fighting each other now. And of course, we see in this chapter, her leadership skills have significantly impressed. No, significantly improved. I'm sorry. So basically now we see her, she's like, oh man, you check that out, you check that out, I'm gonna check over here, we're gonna see what's going on, and if some shit goes down, someone contact Solomon. So she's heading out, she's looking around, and we see this conflict between the cheetah, I think it's a cheetah, and centaur, and a couple of other human magicians that here and there that are like wondering, like trying to cause some kind of conflict. And the human magician, and there's a problem because both the centaur and the cheetah don't trust each other. However, we also see like a couple of human magicians that are part of the resistance, obviously, but at the same time, they're trying to cause this conflict. Not one of them isn't. Most of them aren't really doing it because they want to cause conflict. It's because they seem to side with either the cheetah or the centaur. And what I find interesting is that one of the guys is actually trying to get at Solomon because it's to the point where Solomon comes over there with with the crew, and this guy, this magician, calls Solomon out, saying, "Yo, this dude one day will end up just like his dad, Elder David. So we need to watch out for his ass. You know, he's saying he's our friend now, but later he's gonna like command us to do all kinds of things." And Solomon isn't saying shit. That threw me off. I was like, because he's taking Solomon's main weakness, and Solomon's main weakness is that he doesn't want to be treated like a god. He doesn't want to be treated like his father. And Solomon is just feeling like, man, I can't, I don't even know, man. Like he's just sitting there. I mean, he's not obviously he's not scared or anything like that, but he doesn't speak because he doesn't know what to do. And they're even saying that, yo, what if Solomon is like thousands of years older than we thought he was? And of course, and then she was like, bullshit. He's like 22 years old. Get the fuck out. But obviously, of course, they said, well, we don't know that for sure. And Solomon says, look, I think it's time to tell them the truth. The truth. So what I see the truth being is two things. One, it's something we already know. Maybe something about the mother dragon or something like that, or you know how what's happening with Ilila, or two, something we don't know about really about Solomon yet. And I'm like, dude, the truth, because it sounds pretty crazy. Now we see, of course, this magician. He's just trash talking Solomon. Like, oh yeah, you're scared, aren't you? Oh man, you know, we already know. One day you'll end up just like your father. You're just gonna be so evil. I'm like, oh my gosh, get this dude out of here. And Sheba, oh my gosh, she went in this chapter. I was like, this is not that bad, because the first thing that comes out of her mouth, I was like, whoa, because she states to the guy saying, yo, take this nigga out. I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm sitting there, I'm like, are you serious? Sheba, that's insane. Now, what Sheba says is important because it's a reiteration of what Solomon said at the beginning, where he was trying to bring all the people together, you know, to create this Tehran, this utopia. But it's also reinforcing it. Not only that, but also taking examples from the centaurs and the cheetah, because she says basically, you know, we all care for the same thing, our loved ones. And I know the centaur and the cheetah are basically just trying to protect themselves because they know that, because of what obviously we already know that the centaur are those intelligent ones. However, the cheetah have the, you know, like the teeth, and they have like the strength, but the centaur are really smart. So she's connecting these two things together. She's basically doing the same thing what Solomon is, but she's using current examples. And I find that really cool because it shows not only is she listening to what Solomon says, but she's taking charge and leading toward a point where you could actually consider her to be second in command. And Soma realizes this, and he's like, "Yo, I took you wrong. I thought you were just a little kid, but now I realize you're more than that." So, and it's obviously connecting to the whole Sheba love Solomon concept, because we see all of Solomon's friends, his households, they're all smiling, you know, because Sheba, you know, she's actually growing up, and Solomon is now respecting Sheba a lot more as a person. So they're obviously going to like hook up at some point. It's obvious. Now, when it comes to Arba, because I got to talk to her about a couple minutes now, I'll end the review. While, like I said before, this arc is fascinating, but at the end of the day, one of the main things I want to find out is who and where is Lady Gyoukuen? What the fuck is going on? Like, where is Lady Gyoukuen? Is it Sheba or is it Arba or is it someone completely different? We don't fucking know. And I'm starting to lean towards Arba now because Sheba is seeming way too boss, way too cool, way too awesome for me to actually say, you know, sorry, for me to actually say, you know, she's obviously, you know, Gyoukuen. I can't say that because I mean, like, it just seems weird. It would seem really odd for Sheba to have all this character progression, but that be destroyed completely because she gets turned into evil, or she's manipulated by who knows who. Like she gets manipulated by was by I don't know, Gyoukuen, Arba, Elder David, anybody. I think it's more likely to be Arba because I think Arba looks a lot more like Lady Gyoukuen than Sheba does. Again, we don't know for sure. It could be Sheba. I doubt it. I think it's more likely to be Arba. But because Arba, she seems way too nice for her own good. And when she smiles, she reminds me of Lady Gilpin. She really does. But yeah, that's the chapter. She was pretty boss. The rating for this chapter is going to be OK plus. So yeah, OK plus chapter. Like the video if you like it. Dislike it if you don't. Rate, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys later. I'm Magi Senpai, and I'm out. Peace, guys.